So with the Snare Saturday series, I've been showcasing snare drums. Then over time, I started showcasing specific drums just from different eras so you could hear the difference between them. Or a video where we get the same species of wood in the same depth and diameter size, but one is plywood and the other is solid. Well, in this video, it's time to talk about something that every drummer has experimented with, and that is how to dampen a snare drum. What's going on, everybody? Nick Costa here, and in this video I am going to compare a few different snare dampening techniques. If you're somebody like me who likes a drum to be wide open, you might not experiment with this too much, but the more that you play, depending on the situation, you might actually have to do this. And let's face it, when we're all young, we really like the sound of dead drums, and that's the reason why we'll put 2-ply heads on toms with Ritchie rings around them, if you're old enough to remember what a Ritchie ring is. But before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification. That way you're notified of any additional content that I upload to the channel. So drum dampening, there's a bunch of different techniques to this. It could be placing tea towels on top of your drums, maybe even using something that's a sticky residue like tape, or all those different types of gels that kind of remind you of those sticky hands you used to get in the vending machine at the grocery store, to even today where there are companies that are specifically focusing on ways that you can dampen a drum. And with all of these options, which one works the best? Well, it really is user preference. So in this video, I'm going to show you a few different options. That way you can hear the difference between them and decide for yourself if any of this works for you. So before I show all of the different options that I'm going to use in this video to dampen the snare drum on this kit, let's talk about the snare drum that's set up. Because we're focusing on dampening the sound, I figured, why don't we get a drum that is really resonant and has a ton of overtones? So I have my Ludwig 8x14 Black Beauty. It is a black nickel plated brass shell, and as we all know with that type of shell, it is super warm and has a ton of overtones to it. This is the first iteration of the 8x14 Black Beauty that Ludwig released back in 2017. So it is a seamless shell. It does not have an internal damper. It has 10 double-sided imperial lugs, triple flange hoops on the top and bottom, and Ludwig's first iteration of the P88 throw-off. Now for this video, I did put brand new heads on it. That way I wasn't using heads that may be a little past their prime. And the drum heads on this drum are my preferred ones, which are a Remo Ambassador X coated on the top and an Ambassador snare side on the bottom. For snare wires, I have a set of the Vic Firth Vintage Snappy wires. These are the wires that are made by Canopus, and this is the 20-strand version. So let's dive into all of the things that I am going to use to dampen this drum. The first 4 items that I am going to use are from a fairly new company called Tandem. If you're unfamiliar with Tandem, it is a company that is focusing on these new products called drops. Drops are an alternative to a gel because gels are pretty sticky, they lose that residue, and sometimes it gets stuck to your drum head, which in my opinion is pretty gross. And then, of course, we can always talk about taping a drum, which again, sticky residue on a drum head, kind of gross. Now, with these 4 different drops, they vary depending on the weight, how heavy they actually are. So going from lightest to heaviest, the first one is this one right here, which is 40 grams. As a matter of fact, this is what it looks like outside of the box. Now, the next one, 60 grams. And the third one is 120 grams. It is also round like the other 3. And then finally, you have 200 grams, which is more of a rectangular size. Now, all of these drops work the same exact way. You have this rubber piece here where it attaches to a tension rod on one of your drums, and then the felt portion can rest on the head of the drum. But either way, it's a really cool concept because again, you can put this on a drum, you can take it off of a drum. So if you're playing maybe a house kit, which we all know are in the greatest shape in venues, they might not sound the greatest, so you can bring a set of these with you, put them on whatever drums might need a little bit of muffling or controlling, and you're set to go. When you're done, you can just remove it, throw them in your bag, and keep going. As a side note, I was not paid by Tandem to do this or show any of this product. The owner of Tandem, Daniel, actually was the creator of mono cases. As a matter of fact, I went to the same college that Daniel went to at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia, and because of that, a lot of the drummers at the University of the Arts started getting the cymbal and stick bags when he first designed them. And all in all, I've just been a big fan of the stuff he designs, so I wanted to give this a shot and then show all of you what it's all about. All right, so now that that is out of the way, let's talk about some of the other items I am going to use, which are Big Fat Snare Drum products. Once again, not paid by Big Fat Snare Drum to do this, it's just the stuff that I prefer to use. So that first item is the quesadilla. This is a cloth type material that you just rest on the top head of your drum, and it allows you to dampen it. And then the next thing is the extreme opposite, which is the big green monster, or what I like to call thick boy, because it's super thick and it really kills your drum. Now, Big Fat Snare Drum does make other options as well. Their normal Big Fat Snare Drum option is similar to this. It's a lot thinner, however. They also have what they call the Steve's Donut, which is that thinner version of the other option, but cut out in the middle. And then they have variations on that. They have versions that are cut even more, so it's almost like a Ritchie ring. And they have a whole bunch of other stuff too that they're always coming up with. So if you are interested in the other options that they have, you can go to Big Fat Snare Drum's website. And to make it a little bit easier for you, I put a link in the description below. I'll also have it pop up right here. So here's how this is all going to go for this video. Just like every other Snare Saturday series, I am going to play this drum through a few different tunings. Within each tuning, I will then go through each dampening option. I will start out with the lightest damper and work my way to the heaviest. So I will go through the 4 tandem drops first, then I will do the Big Fat Snare Drum quesadilla, and then wrap it up with the green monster. Also, since a few of you have mentioned this in earlier videos, you know within each specific tuning, I usually do a snare drum roll and then a few different taps on the drum, starting from soft to loud. That's so you could hear the tuning of the drum. I'm still going to do that in this video, except after I do that, I will disengage the snares so you could hear the actual pitch of the drum. Now, I want to do that with this video in particular because 1, some of you have requested it, and 2, believe it or not, your drum tuning can affect the sound of all of these dampening techniques. So this is going to allow you to hear how it can make a difference. So, enough of me talking, let's dive in. So if you're like me and you don't like to muffle your drums except for maybe putting a heavier head on them, then those lighter weight tandem drops like the 40 and 60 gram weight would be a good option. It controls the drum a little bit, but it doesn't sound like it's completely choking it out. And by choking out the drum, I'm talking about that old school trick of just taking your wallet out and placing it on the top head. But if that is a sound that you enjoy, that's what the 200 gram is for. And if you do think that's overkill, but you do want to have a little bit more control over the drum, then you have that 160 option. To me, the Quesadilla provided a completely different sound for the snare drum. Almost like a tea towel, because most likely that's what it was designed after. And the Big Green Monster, in my opinion, kills the drum. And it felt like I was really digging into the drum just to get some volume out of it. But either way, I would love to get your opinion and your feedback on what you thought of all of these different dampers. So make sure you leave it in the comment section below, letting me know. Now, if you have any questions on dampening techniques for a snare drum, you can also leave that in the comment section as well, and I'll try my best to help out and answer them. Also, if you want to see some of the older videos from the Snare Saturday series, I've put a link to the playlist in the description below. I'll also have a link pop up right here to make it easier for you. Now, if you are interested in purchasing any of these items, I did put links in the description below so you can grab them for yourself. Speaking of items, I want to give some stuff away. So I'm going to give away this complete set of tandem drops. These are the 4 different weights that they currently offer. To be eligible for this giveaway, it's pretty simple. Follow me on Instagram at PracticallyNick. Find this post that you see on the screen, like it, and tag 3 people in the comment section. Now, if you do those 3 things by 11:59 p.m. on March 7th, 2024, you will be entered into this giveaway. Now, this is an Instagram-only giveaway, so you have to make sure you are doing this on my Instagram at PracticallyNick. The winner will be announced on March 8th, 2024 on my Instagram. Good luck! So here is an opportunity, and once again, Tandem isn't sponsoring this. I am just doing this. I'm giving these away because, again, I think this is a really cool product to have, and this is a great opportunity for you to try it out for yourself. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. That way it makes it a little bit easier for others to find it. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video on various techniques to dampen your snare drum. And until next time, see you later.